Good. Can I talk, Dinesh?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Very
The
good
session
evening
is
to all
open.
of. But the introduction was not required. I think Varsha told me that she did. Anyhow, thank you very much. Uh, Roger Smith, a legendary speaker who really set the ball in motion for 9 days. Uh, we should understand what is talk. 1 hour. If this talk is recorded and if every student and all the listeners who go through this, get millions of ideas out of it, millions of ideas. I grasped a lot of points what it shared, and it is not an ordinary thing. 50 years of his research, how aesthetically he brought out in 1 hour and made you all understand how the social responsibility and redefining into his work. And he touched every topic, whether it is small businesses, whether it was environmental challenges or disparity in income or monopolies or mounting political pressures. In fact, this one session is almost a 20 years of 30 years of their education. You can just absorb in one session. Smith, extraordinary, more extraordinary speakers are going to connect with you all next 9 days. Dr. Mohammed Yunis, a Nobel Prize, one of its kind on the planet, who created a microfinance institution. All of you have to understand that how diligently, if you can think and have a plan, you can make things happen. I would like to be a little different today. All the dignitaries, Vice Chancellor Dr. Raj Singh, all the CMS organizers, Pasha, all the students and all the participants and all the eminent who are participating in this. Next 30 minutes, I would like to be something different because I did discuss with one or two of my professors. Can I get some world statistics about entrepreneurship, about social responsibility of I have personally experienced with Dhirubhai Ambani and many more great achievers in life in 40 years of my experience. I did connect with some of my professors, Dr. Sudarshan Sheshana and Munu John, and they gave me a lot of statistics. I kept aside all the statistics because in Google, if you go, you know all the statistics, how many percentage are how many are $1 billion economy, what is the concept of happening today, digitization, complexity. I would like to set aside all those statistics and be very natural with all of you. I have believed naturally in whatever things happen, looking at the disparity, what is we are going to foresee in the future. Millennials and gig economy of 50% of economy in India, almost at a young age, and they are looking forward for when by 2030, 85% of the jobs will just vanish. What is happening and so what is going to happen? My belief has always been 30 years before and 30 years onwards also. I'm very clear about what is going to be the future, especially for the younger generation across the world. And I don't want to get into the other details of it. Let me come to the point. So if you look at the whole global parameter and how the industry started and capitalism worked and today's unrest in the world, what is happening, and still how do we try to stabilize the planet as a whole with economic balance as well as harmony as well as ecosystem, environmental balances, how this we are going to do it. I have a clear-cut roadmap for the future, last 30, 40 years of my experience. Two, three examples I would like to share with you all and continue my session. If you look at the world as a place with 700 crore population, you will find the average which I found with all the statistics is 3% people are the dreamers. Only 3%. They are the people you can talk the Fortune 500 companies from Jeff Bezos to Dhirubhai Ambani's and the Indian entrepreneurs. If you look at the world, 3% people have are the dreamers of this. There is another statistics which I have understood over a period of time in my understanding about the global economy as a whole. 22% are intellectual force who take the dreamers' vision to the world platform. We can say those are all thinkers and innovators in the kind of Azim Premji doesn't even know Narayan Murthy doesn't even know how to operate a computer, but he's built the best organization in Infosys. Azim Premji left Harvard or maybe a cut short his tour and he came. Dhirubhai Ambani was hardly a 10th standard passed out and he built one of the greatest organization on the planet. It has impacted millions of people and he redesigned the economy of the country. Dhirubhai Ambani, one person made a difference. So here I see the entire population, 500 here in Zoom, and maybe 10, 20,000 people attending outside the Zoom, Facebook. I would like to say that each and every person has to do something. Nothing to something is my model. I always believe that from nothing to something is a model through knowledge and through experience. If you have the vision, if you have the plan, you can impact any city. If I take a simple example of 3% are the dreamers and 22% are the people who are intellectual force. In the name of, like you can say, the designated like vice president, general managers who go through the B schools like IIM, ISBs, Harvard, Stanford, and other good universities in India. They take up the jobs and make the dreamers who have a vision ensure that the organization grows. This is the 22% intellectual force. 22% and 3% is 25%, and 75% is the skilled economy. 75% is the skilled economy. If you look at the global average, more than 500 business leaders of the world, business corporations, just 500 people are holding 80% of the wealth of the world. From Jeff Bezos to Apple to you take any other organization from Mukesh Ambani to 80% of the wealth is concentrated only with this 500 individuals. And you may have 3% of the entrepreneurs, maybe 25 crore entrepreneurs all over the world. But now this disparity is becoming wider and wider. So few are becoming richer. So there should be a kind of a opportunity. What happens to the 600 crore population across the world? 30% average are young generations. So for me, the solopreneurship is the future. Entrepreneurship, I will say not as a startup, I will talk as a solopreneurship is the future. And I did this experiment for last 25, 30 years. And I'm responsible for 3,500 entrepreneurs from nothing to something, how it is possible. And how it can be, even at the age is not at all a barrier. One young lady from my own neighborhood, my distant relative, she was just a CNBC news reader. I asked her to start her own entrepreneurship, reading your knowledge, what you did in PG. And she come up with an idea on Ayurveda, which is nowhere connected to that young lady. But in Ayurveda, she creates a lot of ideas and says that I'm going to give diet for the entire world population, 200 diets based on their mental conditions, based on their physiological conditions, based on their climate conditions. And today she's become an instant celebrity in just 2 years by giving diet chart through Ayurveda and creating an impact through app and through the social media, because this complexity of digitization makes anybody as a solopreneur. This young lady, I'll not be surprised that she'll be a unicorn in another 1 or 2 years without even a single investment of $1 in her pocket. That is the power of knowledge, and that is the power of unleashing the information which is available. Information is doubling every 7 minutes in this world, so it is going to be impossible for you to hundreds of Roger Smiths and hundreds of Muhammad Yunis also will not be able to dissect the information and make you understand. So now every individual is a now solopreneur in himself, whether it is a 60-year-old person or a 65-year-old person or a 10-year-old young boy or a girl or maybe a student from college. The world is a very exciting now with 700 crore population, where 2035, I foresee that poverty and poverty elevation will be completely zero in the planet, because the philanthropists like Bill Gates Foundation, Azim Premji's, and all people have come towards corporate social responsibility. 5% of their wealth be distributed. I will never see. You will foresee that by 2035 there will be no person will be hungry on this planet. So the entire philanthropy is going to come forward, and the definition of the model itself will change completely in the by 2035. Today's generation has a greatest opportunity to become a $1 million business entrepreneur. So I'm looking at a $1 million sales entrepreneur, which a one individual can do it. And if you have 1 million entrepreneurs, it is almost 5% of the GDP of the whole world. So the equality emerges, and the community models work like microfinance. Mohammed Yunus can empower 50 lakh women in 50,000, 5 lakh women in Bangladesh. So the power of knowledge, with the information which is available on your Google, you don't even require any more sessions in life. You only have to curate it and find your natural talent out of it. I'm talking about those days when 40 years before, when there was no technology, when there was no networking, there was no connectivity. I had an idea to how to create 3,500 entrepreneurs from ordinary salesmen from the showrooms or an ordinary people from the showrooms who were working, picked them up and made them start a small shop, and we started 3,500 entrepreneurs in just a matter of 2-3 years. So I'm seeing in this technology world, with knowledge, with education, with coming out with simple small ideas, you can make magic out of your life. And 1 million turnover entrepreneur is 7.5 crore rupees or 8 crores rupees per year. And this is where I think we have worked out a model of 1 million entrepreneurs across the year. So I told you this 3%, 22%, and 75% skilled force. If the world average in India, the gross enrollment ratio is not even 24%. World average is somewhere in United States is 80%, and some other developed countries more than 80% education. So if you signed in United States of America, 69% of the entrepreneurs who start their solopreneurs life, they start at home. In India also, I see that bug has caught up across the self-reliant model, or maybe Atmanirbhar, what Narendra Modi ji had a vision for the world, especially for India, that solopreneurship is going to be the future. So I foresee a great future in solopreneurship. And I'll give you one or two small examples for you to apply your mind, because I want to be a little very practical and informal in my session today. I don't want to go through the slides. I had many slides to give you all the points that these are the statistics, but I didn't want to do that. Just 1 month before, I experienced in my own in this pandemic time in second wave. What happened is we not go out for this 32 apartment, our family community of the 32 residents in our own apartment building where I am staying here. I could find one husband and wife coming and selling vegetables here every week. And they did a business of 10,000 rupees every time they visit our building, our campus. And 5 times a month or 6 times a month, they would have done a lakh of rupees business. And I connected to the husband and wife, used to go and get vegetables from market and come and sell here at margin of 10% or 15% gross profit. And they used to do a 1 lakh rupees of business only in one apartment dwelling in just the locality of 5 lakh people surrounding in my own community here. If I look at Basambudi where I stay, Diagonal Road, I'll have 5 lakh people just in the area of 5 kilometers range. 2 kilometers and 5 lakh will be the population. And I was just wondering, if this 5 lakh people, if I can multiply that, if everybody needs a 50 rupees vegetable at home, and if he has at least at 500 customers loyalty with him, he need not go to Amazon, you need not go to Reliance, you need not go to Big Bazaar and order online and pay the delivery charges. And you can get at 10% of the same product which is available on your online platform. And this husband and wife, I connected with them 3 more communities around, and these husband and wife have done a business of 25 lakh rupees in 3 years, and they made a profit of 5 lakh rupees. And that 5 lakh rupees recurring deposit scheme, they put it in the bank for their child, future of the child education. If he wants to go to USA, he wants to go to UK for higher studies, and it's connected with 250 people. The power of solopreneurship is going to be the new phenomenon which is going to take place on the planet. I'm foreseeing this 10 years in advance, which I have been practicing from last 10-15 years. So if a vegetable vendor or cart, you can just bring with 5 boxes and make 5 lakh rupees of profit. Here graduates are going for jobs. 85% of the people who graduate on the planet go for a job seeking at 5 lakh rupees salary or 10 lakh rupees salary, 6 lakh rupees salaries, where this husband and wife are not even educated, and they just know where to get the product and how to connect with the people. If the educational groups, NGOs or social responsibility or organizations, if we can connect with the micro entrepreneurs across the country, across the world, I'm sure you would have made an extraordinary impact by all your learnings goes to the market, and you create a $1 million turnover entrepreneur, and every person can create 5 entrepreneurs in their lifetime being possible. You just need to just get the information on the planet, the consumables, what takes place in consumer industry, services industry, in manufacturing industry, in automobile industry. You take 17 verticals, pharmacy industry. You just need to understand, and Ayurveda industry, pick up the homeopathy industry. Every person is capable of sitting on a technology platform, just trying to do a research through a knowledge outlook and create themselves a value of, you need not even go to the corporate, and you can be an ancillary support to the corporates of the world. And that is going to be the future, because corporate doesn't require infrastructure, land and building and spend on the rent. You just have to sit at home and your computer. If I think Ola and Ola can think of without being an owner of a car and have 1,000 lakhs of cars across the planet. It can only happen through technology and digital. So knowledge applied into practice can make things happen. Dhirubhai Ambani couldn't do it. If others who are not educated, Henry J. Kaiser in 1937, I just was reading his case study in Reader's Digest. Nothing at the from the 90, at the age of 39, he just says that I am going to build ships for the world in 1939 World War. No technology, no digitization, and no information, no library, no books, no MBAs, no. But he only just had a dream, and he had that nothing to something. I'm going to do it. So my interest is that all of you are present here, 60,000 people or 20,000 people, whether it's a teacher, whether it is a student, whether it is a professor, or whether it is a businessman, or whether it is a thinker, or whether he is a employee of any organization. I want all of you to break your shackles and come out differently and do products. If you can articulate it properly, you are going to be a 1 million. I can give it a lot of examples. I can give you all and make you all understand that how you all can become. And those disparity of those 100 unicorns or 200 unicorns, which Amazon is taking the market share, it is not required. They have their share, but you can become ancillary support to them. So you have to come out with ideas, you have to come out with concepts, you have to come out with thought processes which can make things happen. Now you see, when these people, Henry J. Kaiser in 1939, he announces that I am going to build warships, 1,500 ships I am going to build, and in his pocket he's got only 10,000 rupees or not even $1,000. Before that 20 years, he put in all the efforts to become to reach the age of 38, to understand the nuances of the village where he was staying in the United States of America, and he built an empire, one of its kind on the whole planet in those days, without technology and without innovation. He built 1,500 warships, which is having 10,000 on the pocket. No doctors, no scientists, no engineers, but he could do it. Why? He said that there are people who can repair ships who are coming to the port, and to repair the ships, I'm going to build the credibility. So first we have to build our confidence, our self-belief, our credibility in ourselves. In today's world, you don't require, there is everything, even if you want to access to a mobile, even if you have a mobile, everything is available. Anesthesia, you don't, it is a so easily doable. Even if you're not educated, it is so friendly. So it's a friendly model where you can Google, you can go to website, you can do email. So such is the power of knowledge and innovation. It is only has to be capitalized and optimized on the by creating equality on the planet. And if $1 million, if a person can earn a gross turnover, imagine in that 1 million, even if he saves 10%, it will be 60 to 70 lakh rupees profit for that individual solopreneur. And that individual solopreneur, 60, 70 lakh rupees, can manage his life. He need not become Bill Gates. So it is an opportunity for everybody on the planet to be a solopreneur or ancillary support to the big organization. So one product you have to get. There are billions of products on the planet. Even if you say that I see this Jain University background Avalokan visiting card there, that itself, you have a visiting card, you can come out with hundreds of ideas and give it to the corporate, and still you can make a $1 million business. If you can see that paste is that is Bidla Cream, that yellow, what do you say, paste, it's become a kind of a rage in that yellow. What is that stickers? What you do on that yellow, that Bidla Cream has come out million
Post it,
products.
post it.
Paste it over
Post
million.
it,
So
post
that is the innovation. Innovation professors, scientists, all have created millions of patents. I will tell you, my friends, United States of America, there are 5 million patents lying, not even commercially capitalized. You only have to tap onto that resources and take one patent and commercialize it. Roger Smith was making a statement that when you come out with a product, when you do well, there are big people who are going to kill your business. But then you need to change in innovation in such a have your patent and ensure that you become an ancillary support for them. So for me, the knowledge is to apply into skill, into action, into approaches where you can try to build yourself as your own responsible person of your life by action agenda. So this concept of models, I have created more than hundreds of models, and I informally have put it into practice. Now I am trying to bring the architecture and structure so that it can be available to the world. I was addressing 50 embassies of the African countries, Indonesia, Russia, Taiwan. There are 60 embassies. So I was sitting here and I came out with an idea that online, which is the future after this pandemic, imagine The pandemic, the technology companies became bigger. Zoom, you have never even heard of Zoom. But in 2 years, the amount of utilization of Zoom, what you would have undertaken, you would have saved so much of time, and you're connected with thousands of people through your technology platform, through your video. So when I was this 18 months, when I was looking at it, the models which has emerged, it was amazing for me. So I can remember so many things which has happened in 18 months. I was talking about this online education and addressing the embassies. I told all the ambassadors that your entire African countries, from Guyana to Trinidad to West Indies, I will educate all your students and they need not pay any money. I will educate them BCom, I will educate them BB, I will educate them business, and I will give them the know-how about empowerment of how they can earn 5 times more than the degree. So earn while you study. So your million students I'm going to adopt in African countries, and all of the million will become an entrepreneurs. And you imagine these ambassadors are very intelligent people, recognized ambassadors who are highly intelligent, who travel all over the world, highly educated. They're Indian foreign services. They are from supported by their own country. Those intellectual people, 25 minutes I spoke to them, and we already cracked the code with 10,000 students who are ready to make business, and we are sending them the know-how, how to manufacture certain small things, consumables at home, what we require, skincare products. So I gave a small example to them that when you go to L'Oreal or when you go to any big brand, and you pay millions and thousands of rupees, 10,000 rupees for a perfume, which can be done at home with our grandmother's recipe available all over the world. And we created a product of 25 skincare products with just $10 in the pocket. And it can take care of and look like a Hollywood actress or look like a Hollywood actor or Bollywood actor with the same recipes available at home from a Haldi Chandan. And still you can create, but you end up paying so much of money. So I gave them the recipes of the skincare products for wet skin, dry skin, and good skin, and 10 products, which can be, even the soap can be manufactured at home. We calculated the soap of Cami soap, what you pay 150 rupees just as a brand, but the cost of that soap is not even 6 rupees. So we end up paying 50 times more in the name of branding, in the name of merchandising, in the name of that is not required. We can create. So Jain University has embarked upon a mission of that total Kalpa Vriksha, where I think everybody is a solopreneur from teachers to student, and we are launching it because I have seen many universities on the world talking about theories, entrepreneurship, or careers, or artificial intelligence. That is all available. Now the concept of the future is going to be holographic concept. Now you can be anywhere at any time. You don't require. You can set up in a Maruti car and you can start a business there, car fitting in your car. You don't require land, building, and capital. So the technological infrastructure which has given me so much of opportunity, if we can curate what is happening in the world and find a market within that, and you create a 1 million business, $1 million business, that is possible. So my idea here to talk on this session was not to talk about any intellectual curriculum or intellectual syllabus or intellectual points or statistics. I was only interested in making you all believe that whoever is listening to me, if you can continuously, properly connect with me and set up seminars, I can give you all the formulations, all the guidance. Forget about the rule. In a million, 1 million turnover entrepreneur, that I'm talking about SMEs or MSME, but in that you can become unicorn also. It is about the networking. When all of you join together, that becomes a unicorn. So it is the concept. So the ambassadors were so thrilled when I spoke to them, and the entire African community is ready to connect with us for online education. And I will not be surprised if million entrepreneurs happens in the underdeveloped economy there. There are 650 crore population who are not having access to anything. They are either dependent on the grants by the government or maybe by the government schemes, a freebie scheme. No, that is self-reliance is the going to be the future. So for me, there is one word, one word is two words is self-reliance and your self-responsibility. So for me, self-reliance and self-responsibility, rest everything will fall in place. You want a scientist will come and sit with you if you have an idea. I'm just give you one other simple example. There are 676,000 villages in India, and there will be many more small villages across the world. It can be maybe 5 million villages or maybe 10 million villages. Now the 676,000 villages, if I talk about alternative energy, your waste products at home, what you try to create each time, your vegetable waste, your dry waste, if you compost it at home and if you can do it, that itself is going to be a wealth earner for you. and you can create that alternative energy at just not even $1, not maybe just 6 rupees alternative energy. When we are paying for gas or gasoline, we pay 80 rupees per kg. So we created in 6,000 villages at an alternative energy on the waste product. At 6 rupees, they are going to get the alternative energy and they can cook at home. So that is the power of ideas which you don't require, and we are paying 20 times on the cost on the products what you are wearing now and what you are enjoying now. So it is the small scale thought processes. You can say foundries. If you take a Tata Steel company in Jamshedpur, it has thousands of foundries around them. So that ancillary support, so ancillary knowledge support. Now, one Ayurveda lady who can come out with all the food activities, what to have and how you have to reduce your weight, and can make 1 million customers in 7 days. That is the power of nothing to something. For me, whoever is listening here, please come out of all your 5 lakhs rupees, 10 lakh rupees fancy job. Sit there and get your experiences through your degrees and come out with simple ideas by curating the knowledge. Knowledge is available so much of abundant. You can create millions of ideas. You can create. So from nothing to something will be my theme: self-reliance and self-responsibility. If you create solopreneurship, microfinance, one young boy at the 32-year-old, 23-year-old boy in Bombay started saying, I'm going to start a fintech company. Just to understood the power of networking. So for me, there were only 10 formulas when I looked at the Henry J. Kaiser, who built 1,500 warships at the age of 38 without even having anything. From 14 years to 38 years, he struggles. Dale Carnegie comes out with a simple idea that power of public speaking. I'm going to make everybody develop communication skills, and he makes $1 billion. And Carnegie Mellon Institute is there, one of its kind. And that man who wanted to commit suicide becomes the world's best seller. How to win friends and influence people. So this 40 years I have done that only. I have just looked at all the small villages that alternative energy. So I am now creating an architecture with all the professors and all the teachers and students. I'm going to create that evolution, see that it becomes a case study at Harvard level and Stanford level. And this African communities, when 1 million entrepreneurs happen in 10 years. So it is when the disparity of income, when it is equally distributed, imagine everybody will have access to education. Their children, they will adopt 2 children, and if 1 million entrepreneurs adopt 2 children, I think 2 million children are going to get educated in life. So the disparity is very huge. And for me, this is the only formula. I'm working out a paper on 3%, 22%, and 75% skilled force. This 75% skilled force, if they are converted into the solopreneurship, that is going to be the future of the world as a whole. I'm not even talking about India. India has a great opportunity, 150 crore population. I don't want to talk about the politics. I don't want to talk about the future Fourth World War or Second to Third World War or Fourth World War. That is the power of the nature. If it has to happen, the nature balances all these things. Whether it is a destruction or whether it is tsunamis or whether it's earthquake, I think the nature balances all these things. As a human being, our job is to try to make a life of others and create that ecosystem around that where there is harmony and peace, and that can happen through that. If even you take a Ramdev Baba, I always make a lighter statement of Ramdev Baba on the lighter side. Inhale, exhale, he has made 800 crores profit. Now you're also inhaling and exhaling from last 30 minutes in front of me, maybe 14 times a minute. But you never thought of making a business out of it. And this man just inhale and exhale makes 800 crores profit. And now he's become an umpire where he challenged Hindustan Livers and all the multinationals that I am going to create Dant Kanti, and every second home is having a Dant Kanti product. But Ramdev Baba had no degrees with him. He had no business, no MBAs with him. So it is about the will and the determination to make this happen. So for me, 10 things were very important. That we use only 1% of our mind in our actual intellectual ability and capacity. We never focus on what our strengths are there. So if we use our mind properly, I think we'll be so talented that we ourselves will not realize that we are so talented. We don't give up. I always believe that if we persevere hard and push on hang on long enough, we wear down the opposition. So the concept of planet is very, very simple. The nature is with us. The planet is with us, the water is there, energy is there, oxygen is there. Now, let us not get into the governmental guidelines. Okay, somebody is becoming the corporate structure and all. That is fine. Structure is there if we follow it ethically and honestly. We are talking about ethical entrepreneurship. If we are transparent and ethical, even the governments will support you. I have seen those people who have been ethical in life have always survived, whether it's big corporation or small corporation. I think Kawasaki always spoke about 3 points. About the 3 points, what he used to always talk, Kawasaki. was honestly, empathy, honesty, and humility. With empathy, honesty, and humility, every person is a divine person according to me, and every person is a doer in life, and every person can keep this action in life and still become a kind of a energetic person in life. So I always see that 44 years of my life, I have been in personal touch with Dhirubhai Ambani. I have seen Dhirubhai Ambani when he had 15 crores turnover in 1977 was his first public issue. And I have personally met Dhirubhai Ambani 25 times, but then he had a dream for 500 years. So he has created and impacted millions of people on the planet. He redefined the model of rules and regulation and said that within the rules and regulation, still you can empower yourself. So it is an evolution. It is a process of harmony and balancing the nature. We are talking about carbon emissions. We are talking about so much of fuel. We are talking about usage. So many things we are talking. But then if we are moderate in our approach, I'm sure the planet will be a better place. But then this has to be a movement. It has to be a thought process. It should be a thought ideas. And this knowledge has to be applied into practice in a minimalistic way and maximum impact. The Pareto principle, 20% of efforts and 100% of result. Every person is it. For me, even creating an IT company, it takes 3 days for me to create an IT company. Because now we have a platform, Jain University. I started with $1 in my pocket, school dropout, 8th standard, but I'm here in front of you with 1 lakh students, with the campuses across the country, 1 million students. And before I started in education, I already created 3,500 entrepreneurs. But maybe I was not a professor, so I did not write the case studies to prove that it is possible. So for me, the concept of unity is to try to live in diversity and be very, very committed to ourselves and make nature and ecosystem a better place through our approach, through our positive attitude. Ensure the kind of negativity and the reaction which takes place in the name of arms race and all will automatically reduce, because every person should get that responsibility of taking the challenge in state of flow, being positive and being compassionate and making things happen in life. So every person on the planet can be transformed. I believe that. I believe that it is possible. It's not about spirituality. It is about you as an individual. Okay, you're working in a corporate, still you're an entrepreneur. If you're honest with your work for 8 hours, 30, 40 years, easily you can cross that organization with a lot of satisfaction in life. So our needs and our goals has to be very clear. Having excess wealth, it can be divided among the have and have nots, which is possible in our hands. This is what I understand. So I didn't want to get into that scholarly talk or any of the point. I just wanted to be very simple in my approach. I completed 40 minutes, though I was given half an hour. I will leave the house open for a few questions. I had many things to share with you all. But then this architecture of a period of time, what we are trying to create, how we can create a movement of entrepreneurship across the world, solopreneurship on the world. And that is going to be the power of future change version 2.0 under the leadership of all our professors, teachers and students and colleagues and vice chancellors and our entire team. I assure this country before I leave this world that we will create 5 million entrepreneurs which will impact the world and make the world a better place, whether it is energy, whether it is services, whether it is consumerism, whether it is basic manufacturing, whether it is ancillaries, whether it is thought processes, whether it is knowledge-based economy, because we are talking about the empire, the future empires is empires of the mind. One more classic example, and conclude with it. Dhirubhai Ambani came out with the best brains on the planet, didn't have a solution. Linker alkyl benzene lab, where he had a solution, a chemical which was a glut in the market. There was a depression in the market, and Dhirubhai Ambani had more than 1,000 crores of stocks lying unsold. Nirma was a classic case, and Dhirubhai Ambani. They both came out with the idea that we will bring some women within the village. We'll use these chemicals, alkene as benzene to create papads. We call that diet after the rice. We have papads, and we eat that papad, papad. And today it has become a worldwide brand. Amul started with 1 liter milk, and today I think Amul has become a brand on the. So anything takes 20, 30 years in a life. So a mind of 20 years should have a plan at the age of 20. By 35, this 1 million will become 100 million, 100 million will become 10,000 million. So it is up to you. I'm not talking about the unicorns. I'm not talking about the 80% of the wealth which is held by the few people. I'm talking about the equality of everybody trying to have the space on this planet. So this is what I would like to conclude. So empathy, honesty, and humility. that is possible in life. So let us take the movement forward and create the atmosphere of a movement as a concept of solopreneurship or entrepreneurship, or with a lot of ethics and with a lot of humility, but with a lot of simplicity and hard work. I'm sure in 5-10 years we can make things happen in life. I'm very determined, and I will prove I'm very sure about it, that million entrepreneurs from my side is possible in next 10 years, because the 40 years of my research and whatever my experience I have got that beta model ready with me, is only to unleash it and make it happen and show the world that everybody is capable on this planet to survive and still live his own life with dignity and with grace. Thank you very much.
You can take Q&A.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for bringing in your expertise and experience before us. It's been indeed a privilege listening to your profound ideas. Now we have some questions from our students and participants as well. So we can take the first question from our student, Pooja. Can you go ahead and ask your question?
Yes, ma'am. So, good evening, sir. My name is Pooja. And my question for you is, there are so many startups coming up right now. So many people want to be entrepreneurs. So what is your advice to students, or anyone for that matter, who want to start their entrepreneurship journey?
I will say that your pocket money, what you are saving, that is more than enough to start up. You don't require any money, any funds. You see, I will give you the 4 concepts. One is family, then comes friends, then comes financial institution. I was addressing in IIM 250 women who become entrepreneurs in Indian stock management in Banarghatta Road. So there were professors who talk in the classroom. You require strength, weakness, opportunities, threat. You require land, you require building, you require capital. You will get a scare of your life. Even a Harvard graduate will straight away go for a job. You will not be interested to it. So you require the family. If I take your family tree, Pooja, you, your father and mother, grandfather and grandmother, and your brother, 6 people are already there in the family. Your mother's side, there will be your mother's father, your mother's father's grandfather. If I look at the family tree, from your brother's side, from your side, from your parental side, from your father's side, mother's side, there will be 250 people already surrounded around you. If you have a family function at home, I'm sure near and dear your relatives and cousin sisters will be at least 150 people, and everybody has 150 people as their immediate first list to invite them for a session. So imagine those 150 people coming to your house, and you say, okay, I am going to, if you are have a birthday party for your grandson, so I am going to create a concept for you. I'm going to create the party. I'm going to create the food catering, and you can make that happen. So family, within the family, if you are having and everybody has a poor boy or a rich person, it will be minimum 150 rupees pocket money they have to spend a month of 1,000 rupees. Even this 5,000 rupees capital you can start. I had only 40 rupees in my pocket when I started my career at the age of 14. And for me, that Henry J. Kaiser was a great inspiration. It took 30 years for me to reach this level. So for me, the sky is the limit now. So your mother and father pocket money of 5,000 rupees, you require only 20,000 rupees to start any startup. And by third stage, you already would have reached 50 lakh rupees turnover. And 200 family members will have 10 friends. They'll have, at least in social media, you have 800 people. So if you take 150 people, if they're in Facebook, in social media, imagine they have 100 contacts. So 150 people into 100 is 15,000 customers are around you only. Now you come out with a product, whether it is earrings or whether it is bindi or whether it is buttons or whether I'm going to create for goggle, I'm going to create or on the mobile, like I'm going to create a sticker, and you have 15,000 customers. So you only have to come out with the innovation and say, okay, this sticker is available at 10 rupees, I give you at 2 rupees. So your cost will be 1 rupee. So it may be laces, it may be anything, it can be concrete, it can be anything. Looking at women, there will have some millions of wares available around. It may be a plastic bangles, it can happen. So you don't require any money to become. All my 3,500 entrepreneurs have started with zero capital, only with their pocket money. Because I started with zero capital, I didn't believe in this. So when I was addressing this IIM women entrepreneurs, I gave them my concept of my own grandmother used to sell saris around. My mother's mother used to sell saris around her locality in KGF, in Kolar Gold Fields. I'm talking of those days, which is a village. In this village, she used to make 1,000 sarees sold, and she used to make 5,000 rupees and take care of my mother, take care of her grandchildren, take care of her 2 daughters, and she never borrowed any rupee in her life till she died at the age of 95. That case study I gave it to IIM. Every woman was in tears and they cried for 5 minutes. What my grandmother, I just brought out grandmother example. And for that 1.5 hour, I told you don't require strength, weakness, opportunity. You don't require land building cap. You start small, and automatically right people will come around you. If your turnover is increasing one level, automatically that kind of thinker you can hire for 10,000 rupees and take. Some web person will do the designing for you. You have to pay 2,000 rupees. You can do a bootstrap. So you don't require any money to become a startup. And this startup culture, no, what the world is talking about, accelerator and all. Out of 1,000 people, 995 vanish. You are not even aware of that. So let us not get into that. Every person who is listening to me can start with a small capital of 10,000, but that 3 years, if you go through that grilling and master your art of excellence of 1 or 2 products, what you do it, then thousands of products will happen. Shahnaaz Herbal, she started from home. That lady became the world's biggest brand through Ayurveda product, Shahnaaz Herbal Parlor. So if you look at the case study, I was only making a statement that when you have so much of information in the world, you need to get inspired to somebody which connects to your thoughts. And you will find a similar case study who would have done what your thinking would have already happened on the planet once. So you are the second person to do that. Maybe that past experience with the technology, you can make things happen. It is just a matter of idea. One Bombay young girl, this started selling with some serial or tele serials. Imitation jewelry. She has made 500 crores rupees. And she has not gone for any zero da. If you take zero da, the Kamats who have done. They were the ordinary sons of a bank employee, but only thing they were attentive in the classroom. They studied the stock market properly, and today they're worth $2 billion. So that is intelligence. So your knowledge is your wealth. Your intelligence is your wealth. Your personality is your wealth. That is your dollar. The dollar is not dollar. So you have to think. It is good, Pooja, you asked this question. One girl I picked up from my preschool. I have adopted 2,000 children 20 years before, and I had no money in my pocket because I knew this girl was a beggar girl, and I made her study in the school, and I asked her father to allow me to educate her. I educated her, and because the single rupee capital, she is already 75 crores net worth in 7 years from Jain Vidya Niketan, my own student. And here in my own university, you are paying 2 lakh rupees fees and coming. She studied free of cost for 5 years with me. She looked at me and said, "Sir, I will supply milk to your school." That's all. And I gave her 100 liters milk in my residential school. She made a 1 rupee profit, but only thing, she was dedicated, she was determined. She got up in the morning at 5 o'clock and she took the interest to come here, and 6 months she satisfied us. Then we gave her groceries. Then she went to Ravi Shankarji ashram and said, "Mr. Jain is taking, Jain University is taking, why don't you also take?" Then she went to Toyota. That is the power of networking. So I gave her 10 contacts and she started supplying there. Then she has 2 gas stations, she has 1 petrol bunk. And now she's thinking of educating 3,000 women free of cost because she has got 75 crores of wealth. She's just 24, 27-year-old. She's married with 2 children, married at the age of 16, plus second PUC with me and that BBA correspondent. And she made it, and she's given jobs to 1,500 people. A classic case in front of my own eyes. And just picked up from the road a beggar girl. And today she's 75 crores and trying to empower 3,000 women. So imagine this structure, if it's created through knowledge and through a process and through an architecture, imagine you can impact the whole world, Pooja. And sitting here, anywhere, anytime you can do business, you don't require. You can sit at home and do the business. So it can be male business, it can be women business, anything you can share. You can be a manufacturer also, you can start a cold chain also, you can start a bakery also, and still you can make a worldwide impact. It is a power of interest, power of self-belief. So your idea, your networking, your focus, your self-management, your simplicity, and your determination, and your goal, and your interest. So that study you have to put it into practice, nothing more. This 1947, one boy Jia has started the restaurant without a single capital. I told you have so many students around you. Somebody will supply you furniture, somebody will supply you carpet, somebody will give you rental building. A boy with fathers will have some all there. Go and start a restaurant there. And he applied that knowledge, and today he's got 6 restaurants, giving jobs to 1,000 people. So I have 3,500 case studies with me without single rupee, and there is one or two are at a very high level who have reached 100 crores turnover, 500 crores turnover. But that I cannot make it possible in this session of 45 minutes. I just gave you an idea which others also can connect with these thought processes and make things happen. Even your knowledge, your curriculum, you can do wonders. If Baiju Ravindran can do it with teaching mathematics in the classroom, he could foresee the future. So that is what you have to see. So that is what is knowledge. So your wealth is you. You are the dollar and you are the $1 trillion economy. So economy for me is that individual. He can impact the whole world. And you, one person, can make a difference. So I have given you 2-3 case studies. Muhammad Yunus of Bangladesh, just one lady who could not afford anything, and he saw her and he just converted into pity and sympathy. And said, how come you are so poor? And I'm an economics professor. He's going to talk to all of you. You should listen to Muhammad Yunus. And that Muhammad Yunus was a Fulbright scholar from United States of America, teaching international economics in the classroom. But when he went for a walk around, he found all the poor people living in a shabby condition, in a more poverty, where they could not even have one meal a day. And he just took out from his pocket and gave 100 rupees, madam, you manufacture stools for me, I will get it sold. So microfinance today, it is the world's biggest organization, $33 billion organization. In 33 years, he has done it. Mohammed, at age of 80, you'll find him that is younger than you. So you should meet such people. They are the life who said Henry Ford built roads. He was an ordinary automobile engineer, an automobile mechanic. He was repairing some of the mechanical tools, and today he started the Ford company. So that is, they have set the syllabus. What they have done, what Bill Gates, what they have done, that is the syllabus what they are studying in the classroom. It is not what it is. It is only the solopreneurs who started their life and made conglomerates. They are ruling the world. So that is where I am feeling that now the disparity is taking in a huge way. Mukesh Ambani is becoming bigger than everybody. Bezos is bigger. So what about you all? If they take all the market share, do you think the $300 billion he's going to buy yachts is going to go and buy? Bill Gates has bought 50% of the land. But what will you do? One day you have to leave this world. So that's why you have to create that solopreneurs on the world. If a vegetable vendor can make 5 lakh in 3 months, imagine what impact you can create. This is what we are doing in Jain University version 2.0. My teachers and students are going to create 1 million entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for sharing such inspiring stories, sir. I am very much inspired.
Family,
I told you family.
I told you family, and then friends, you can take some free of interest loan from them, 5,000. You'll have 50 friends who will allow you to borrow 1,000 rupees. If you develop the goodwill with them and the trust you can build in them, family and friends, then comes financial institution. And for every person, bank gives without collateral security 10 lakh rupees loan you get. So you have 3 steps. First is family, then friends, then financial institutions. Then you have to go for other funding of vulture capitalist. Venture capitalist is vulture capitalist.
Yes, sir. Yes,
well,
sir.
thank you so much, sir. Next, we have with us, we have lots of questions. One other question we are going to take from.
I'm not tired. If they are ready, I can go on and on.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. So, can I ask Harita to go ahead with her question, please?
The questions are small, but my answers are long.
Good evening. So, could you...
Yes, and here.
Well, I feel there is some.
We can take some other question.
Yes, sir. I just go ahead with the questions of the participants. And the first question comes, which says, what are the components and characteristics of correct and error-free leadership in your opinion, sir?
I have to be very, very transparent and honest. This one word is more enough. And you should have full energy. You should never give up, come what may. Come what may. I have this 10 mantras, the sutra. I create my talk only on those 10 points, nothing more. So you are talented, you don't give up, and you dream, and it can be daydreaming or even night dream. You remember your dreams and come out with simple ideas which can fulfill the needs of the society. The more you do good to others, you'll end up doing good to yourself. So it is money is a byproduct. You remain network. Now networking is very simple. Your family and friends networking. I gave 15,000 contact to Pooja. She write down the name. She'll have 15,000 contacts with mobile number, email number. Data she's going to have. Data is the gold now. So that is the power of networking and then focus. So these are some attributes you need to have, but you need to be very transparent. You need to be very transparent and honest about yourself. Just forget about your communication skills are not required. When you have that white elephant attitude, you're a happy person, automatically the circumstances, the nature will conspire and connect with you, those kind of people. So birds will attract the feathers of the same flock. So your energy should be exuberance. That is more important. You should have that energy. Whatever may be the challenges, you should smile. And
Absolutely,
that
sir.
will never say die attitude. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. That's all, nothing more. Dale Carnegie wanted to commit suicide, but he never gave up. He became the world's best trainer on the planet. So never give up on life. And it is a simple word. You don't require any PhD degree for that. That's why I didn't want to do PhD and postgraduate. Dr. Raj Singh wanted to do postgraduate. You wanted to do PhD. You did it. Asha wanted to publish 150 papers. She's doing it because she likes it. But I like that I will connect with the DNS, digital nervous system. DNA is produced by the nature, by the divine biology or the God. But then DNS, digital nervous system, connect with your 100 billion neurocells and 70 trillion neurocells and make a story of each cell and wire your cells in your body. So if you wire your cells, it is a story is in front of you. That is my take.
Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely true.
You wire all your cells. All cells are separate. You just have to wire it.
Right,
you
sir.
can create an encyclopedia.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much for
and humility
quite
very
in
important.
detail.
Humility very important.
So true, right. Yes, sir. So one other question is coming up from our participant, that is Kiran Mane, and he's going to ask, what are the difficulties faced by solo entrepreneur for making his products, for marketing their products?
That is a very good question you asked. Marketing a single product, like Pooja asked you that question, maybe up to 150 people it is possible. So this is where I think we have to now synergize. We have to enable. So when we study in the university, all the engineering skills, innovation, or technology, or we study marketing, we study economics. So 5 students, knowledgeable students, if they can adopt that solopreneur and become a partner with that person, it becomes a co-creation, and they can create markets after market, because a student studies marketing, a student studies guerrilla marketing, student studies branding, student studies economics, maybe the banking forms has to be filled up, how the business plan has to be done. That's for a solopreneur, if they can get the shared services through maybe your website or through your app, if people can join together. But I'll give you 10 rupees, I'll give a service for how to create an Excel sheet. Maybe 1,000 solopreneurs will ask an Excel sheet from you at 10 rupees. That itself is a business idea. So now I have identified 7,000 entrepreneurs in Bangalore. With their list, they're doing a 10 lakh crores turnover, 10 lakh rupees turnover. I've ensured that they will get 20 lakhs turnover. 5 of my students will go and adopt that person, and that person will become, because he already is doing 5 years, 8 years solopreneur business. So how to double his volume and reach up to 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 20 lakhs turnover becomes 40 lakhs, 40 lakhs turnover becomes 80 lakhs, a 1 crore turnover becomes 2 crores, and 2 crores become 3 crores. So we are looking at these entrepreneurs, and 5 students, one from engineering background, one from social humanities background, one from commerce background, and one because they will understand the psychology. Humanities students, 5 students, one from a biology background. So out of these 5 students, one will be a commerce, one will be an engineer, one will be humanities, one will be a science person, and one will be the basic science who will understand mathematics. And that branding, communication strategies, if 5 students can do internship of 2 days a week and adopt that neighborhood entrepreneur and make his business 5 times, automatically he will get the supplies and he will also earn his money. So by the time he would have also understood a lot of entrepreneurship through action, and he will become a solopreneur, and he will have 5 more people to take them. So the entire information is there for them to get that connected to the integrated model and reach. A solopreneur, according to me, can reach a $1 million sales maximum. That is my understanding in my personal experience of my 1 million is enough for a 1 crore profit, madam. 10% profit or 15% profit on a 8 crore turnover is equivalent to 1 crore rupees, and the job is fetching you only 6 lakh rupees. But this man is independent. So 1 million and turnover, if you create millions of entrepreneurs, I think there will be equal distribution. The multinationals will do their business, but these people also will survive. They will also survive. In this process, these solopreneurs will get connected to Amazon and Reliance or some other ancillary product which they are going to market for them. So that is where they will scale. So it is all interlinked connectivity.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Well, thank you so much, sir. Thanks for bringing in your expertise